You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Snap, the kick, it's been blocked again! Oh my! It's been blocked again! It's going to heave one, deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! Oh my! I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw, Thompson fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory's got a touchdown! Oh my! Dory's got a touchdown! Hands it off to Marvin. He comes back. Say goodbye.
Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out the winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium and Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your boy Corey.
It's Dan.
Delatorre.
And Jordan Scarlett.
Fellas,
We gotta work on Jordan's energy out of the gates. This is a guy who's rolling up to the stadium. He's not ready till at least the second quarter. Like, what are we doing here? we gotta get smelling salts for Jordan.
I'm cool, calm, and collected. Yeah, I might need them smelling salts, man.
Smelling salts haven't been working out for our university this year, man. Slackman showed up with his smelling salts, but
Might just be
fresh off of Georgia L, man. How y'all good? How was your weekend?
Yeah, man, I had a good weekend. Went out on the boat yesterday. Didn't make it up to Jackson. Go ahead.
I think he's lagging a little bit. It's all right.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah, you good. I was just saying I had a pretty good weekend, too, overall. Definitely would have wanted to get that W, man. I felt like it was pretty close for the most part. Definitely, if we had Lagway in the game, I can see us having a victory 100%. But, it is what it is. It's the name of the game. Hey, man, injuries come. That's football. So we're going to just take it and live with it. But overall, I like the way we fought to the end.
Now, put some people on game, because I noticed on your social media, you get back into Gainesville, and there seemed to be a must-order post-game. A little dessert that you posted. Don't gatekeep people. Tell the people where the cookies are from. He's frozen.
He's frozen.
Midnight cookies. I saw Jordan popped up in Gainesville,
100%.
saw that box, and I'm like, ooh. I used to live right there over at Enclave. They were right by him.
Yeah, hit refresh real quick for us, Jordan, man. Then we'll see if we can get you on the same wavelength. We're gonna get it right sooner or later one of these weeks, man.
Yeah.
But it's all good. We're gonna work out the kinks. I had a solid weekend outside of the Georgia L, fellas. Great game overall as far as expectations first half, I would say. Just a great game. Just as a football fan, I thought it was a great game. But the weekend didn't do a whole lot. It was the weekend of Halloween. Spent a little time with the fam doing that, but not a whole lot going on, man. The fall is falling. Weather is nice, but I just been kicking it. Not a whole lot of festivities going on. This is my final week of football. We got the playoffs tomorrow. I think we're going to get smacked tomorrow.
No.
My son's not here, so I can say it. He's at football practice right now, but I think we're going to get smacked tomorrow by the team we're playing. We just down a lot of kids, man. We literally got like 12, so everybody's just playing two ways. Nobody's getting a break, and we down a few linemen. We were small in the trenches already, and then we lost a few guys in the trenches. We're going to get mopped tomorrow night, so I'm pretty sure this is our last week of Pop Warner.
This is crazy. A crazy breakdown for your son's Pee-wee football. We're going to get mopped tomorrow.
It happens, man. He'll
Orange
be all right.
slices on deck.
I'm coaching next year, though. That's one thing. I am coaching next year. I had a great time just going out to the park, but coaching from the sidelines don't hit like it does on the field. I was trying to coach as a yard marker, too. moving the sticks. I was coaching in the refs. They got a hold of my shenanigans. It was like, hey, cut it out. You can't do that. So next I'm just going to coach. I went to the Muck Bowl Friday. Last thing that I did go to the Muck Bowl Friday. Ran into some Stadium and Gale fans out there. Shout out to my guy Bobby. Went to the top of the stands with Harlem. We just sitting there chilling. Dude comes up. Hey, man, big fan of the show. He just got right into it. Gave some concern for Nick and on 3. I was like, nah, Nick's fine, man. He got options, bro. He's a popular guy. He's a big dog in the Gator market. He'll be all right. But solid weekend, man. Shout out to the Stadium and Gale fans that pulled up on me at the Muck Bowl. Glade Central won. That's home team for me. But solid weekend for the most part, outside of the L.
Yeah, no, I had a similar story. My business partner lives down in Apollo Beach with her husband, so I went down there for Halloween. Brooke was doing a friend's birthday dinner on Halloween, so I went down there. Ran into 2 people that listened to the pod. Shout out to the one guy on a very nice golf cart. The suburbs do Halloween significantly different than I remember, right? I don't live in the suburbs now. And, when I, didn't live downtown here in Tampa, I lived over in South. It was just a little bit different, but down there, I'm talking thousands of kids.
Yeah.
It just
full-size candy bars.
Yeah, there's some full-size candy bars. There were people.
Yeah.
There was one guy cooking up
suburbs. That sounds like a gated community.
It was not a gated community. Not a gated community. It could be, but it's not.
The city's too nice. The whole city's gated.
Yeah, they had some guy making glizzies on the grill, just handing them out to parents. There's people giving out shots, Jello shots, bourbon. There was haunted house, all this. I mean, I don't have kids, as everybody knows, so. It was a really cool experience, but some guy on a very, very nice, expensive golf cart just stopped in his tracks like, Dan, love the pod. And so everybody knows I have the pod, but they don't all know, like, you know how popular it is. And they're like, do you guys have, like, fans? I'm like, yeah, not in Jacksonville, but here there's definitely fans of Dan.
No, I have fans in Jacksonville. You don't have fans in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Shout out to that guy.
Me and Corey into that as well.
Yeah. Everybody but me has fans in Jacksonville. Shout out to him. I wish you would tell me your names though. That's like the one thing. Be like, hey, I'm, Rob. I don't need to know your Twitter handle. I don't care. I just want to know your actual, like, real life in person government name.
I want to make sure I said the right name myself.
Yeah. So shout out to that guy. Got to go to a baby shower and then did a little meat market and addition night on Saturday night, and then went on the boat. Yesterday, which was nice. So overall, good weekend. Touched some sea, touched some bourbon.
Were touched some artificial or passenger?
This time was passenger. Nice. Which is nice. Yeah. Went over to Snell Isle and all of that area. So, or not Snell Isle, Bunce's Pass, that area. So, great part of the Tampa Bay area. Jordan, you're back on mute. I think. I hope.
Yes, sir. Sorry for the crazy connections. How I'm sounding? Sounding good, everybody?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, you sounded good, bro. You sounded good. We're going to get it all. It's all good, man. Our fans patient with it. It's all vibes. Nick, how was your weekend, bro? You supposed to go to Jacksonville, and that changed pretty fast, man. So
yeah. Did not go to Jacksonville. Last week was interesting. I know people probably want me to talk about it. Can't do that. But got to hang out with the baby girl, watch the game with her, still firing off these tweets, and was looking forward to getting back on the show today. So, yeah, weird weekend. I think the last time I wasn't in Jacksonville for Florida, Georgia, I was at my one of my groomsmen. I was a groomsman at his wedding back in 2018. That was 36-17, Georgia won. So it's not me. I was genuinely worried that if Florida won, so like last week, it was almost like I was Huckleberry Finn.
You was the curse.
I was Huckleberry Finn, like at my own funeral, and everyone's talking so sweet and so nice. And I'm like, man, this is nice. And then if Florida would have pulled out the upset, it would have been like, I knew it all along. It was Nick. It was Nick. Just had to get him up out of here. The Gators are back. So wasn't rooting against Florida, but was concerned for my well-being if Florida was going to pull out that upset.
What did get me like over the week, I know we can't get into it, but just noticing from the fans, it's a whole hive of Gator fans that call you Billy Napier's puppet.
Yeah.
And I was like, negative Nick? Like, how's the most negative guy in the fan base towards the team is also Billy Napier's puppet? Like, he needs to hire better puppets as well.
He's got to go back to school. He needs to be a better puppeteer.
for sure.
Yeah. Listen, just give me marching orders. And I don't know if I'm negative or if I'm carrying water for the university. Just let me know what I'm doing. Actually, I'm doing nothing now. Just podcasting now. So hit me up later.
Well, we'll get into the show.
Let's get into the show. We're always going to talk about our weekend, Gator MF. So join 10 minutes late if you want to hear about our weekends, or mute when I talk. I don't know who it was about. So, Corey, why don't we do a Brunt ad read and then we'll get on to the show.
One time for the great folks at Brunt Insurance and Financial Services. You already know the vibes. Anything you need insured, from motorhomes, motorcycles, actual homes, condos, anything, jet skis, boats, your life. Hit up 954-589-2204. Greg Brunt's going to take care of you. These quotes are absolutely free. It don't cost a dime, just to see if you can save money. You can also visit bruntinsurance.com, or like I said, 954-589-2204, from the Panhandle to the Keys, actually the entire Southeast. Brunt Insurance and Financial Services.
Greg, what it do, baby? I just hit up Greg. I got to get my wife to hit you back, Greg. She is the CEO of the family because I spend frivolously, according to her.
So I can see that. I can see that. That's for sure. I can see that.
For me, it's like, hey, if it's in the bank account and if it's on the credit line, then we can afford it. She's like, that's not how things work. And I'm like, they took the money, so that seems like that's how it works.
Yeah, that's not how that works. All right, so getting into the show here, Gators do lose 34-20. We're tied 20-20 with just a few minutes left in the game. Obviously, the Gators lose DJ Lagway in the second quarter in a non-contact hamstring injury. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. But before we do that, we did not do great in buy and sell last week. But I do want to give a special shout out to Corey and myself for saying that the Gators would lose, but they would cover, and they did. So shout out to us. We are the winners of buy or sell, because I don't think you guys want to go over the results.
We never recap it unless I was the loser.
No,
well, now that
right?
Jordan's here, he's a loser too. He was actually the biggest loser. No offense, Jordan, just in buy and sell.
Well, Jordan was just riding with Florida, and for a while it looked like Jordan was going to be the winner.
That was me.
It was close.
Yeah, it was. I think if the game changed, I think we all hit on the turnover and the interception in that part of it, right? I do feel I feel good about my keys to the game because
not you, Corey.
You sold
1.5 turnovers.
What a hater!
Oh, I had 2 interceptions.
I think because you had bought all of them before. You know what I mean?
Oh, you ran out of money. You see how the bank account works? I got my checking, I got my savings account.
No, this is free money. I finally got cheap, and it cost me. That's crazy.
I saw you celebrating it on Twitter too during the game.
I thought I had the over on that, man.
Yeah. We gotta do this beforehand, get a little grid out to the crowd before. But Gators do, like I said, do lose 34-20. Good game overall by the defense. Forced 3 interceptions. Aaron Gates, I think, played out of his mind. I think overall they were ready for Carson Beck in this offense. Limited Trevor Etienne's abilities, and then he went out of the game injured. But overall, we'll start with you, Nick. What are your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, I wrote about it either Sunday or Monday, and I said, I don't think Florida wins this game. I need to see that they are competing. And Georgia doesn't look like the team, that won back-to-back national titles. I thought Florida's defense, again, continued to play well. And that was kind of like a question I had in my mind, because they played well 3 weeks in a row, but against quarterbacks that didn't force them to really defend the pass. It almost made themselves one-dimensional. And I thought, well, they're going to probably try to bring that same thing. And Carson Beck was begging to give the game away back in his home state or his hometown. I like the defense. Obviously, they kind of wore down late. A ton of injuries that you're having to deal with on that side of the ball as well. But I thought they got pressure. They affected the quarterback. The PFF numbers didn't support that, but like watching it, it felt like it.
Yeah, I just rewatched the game before we started, and then I looked at the PFF numbers, and I was like, I don't see how some of these numbers are correct.
Yeah, because PFF was like 5 hurries, and I was like, which quarter?
Yeah,
for sure.
And then offensively, it's like people were like freaking out first drive when like Jacoby Jackson started, but like he ran hard, he ran well. Jaden Ball ran well. And then I thought, DJ Lagway, I think the game could have turned out differently. I'm not going to say that Florida absolutely wins that game if DJ Lagway.
Yeah, we winning that game, bro. We winning that game if Lagway's there. They had no answer for anything we were doing offensively, bro. We had Kirby not so smart. He was Kirby dumb on Saturday. We had that boy on the ropes, straight up.
Yeah.
They had no answer for what we were doing. Run game was doing way better. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we would have beat that team had Lagway not went down because he was heating up in the RPO too. Even the run he got hurt on, like we was dicing and jabbing that shit like Mayweather in his prime, bro. My bad. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off. I got excited.
No, you're good. I'm trying to think of.
He was only 2 for 6 at the time.
Slicing and dicing.
That's it's explosives.
Yeah. No, I agree.
He was 2 for 6, but I don't think they was letting him get into his bag of who he was. Like they was trying to dink and dunk with him and do intermediate throws. When we finally let it rip, after the turnover, he hit on a big play. And I think the run game, the way the run game was working, we just gonna keep drawing them in. And I do disagree with how Billy was calling that game early, and I kept tweeting it. We gotta go deep. You gotta unload the box. You gotta threat Kirby on the deep end. That's the only way you're gonna win this game. But I thought we was gonna hit more of those. I said pregame explosive plays was gonna be a thing. Nobody's gonna stop this kid from hitting deep plays. I don't care if it's Stoops. I don't care if it's Kirby. When you got that type of speed in our wide receiver room and you got an arm like that, it's gonna happen. It's just
how many
agree. Times.
I think Florida has a significantly better chance, and they probably do win that game with DJ Lagway. But I do think he was still warming up. But I do think that the offense did have to completely change. And I do want to give credit to the offense still scoring. They still scored 10 points behind Aiden Warner. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't great. And we're going to talk about the merits of having a former Yale transfer walk-on as your third string running our quarterback at the University of Florida. Right. All of those things will be talked about. But I did, certainly the deep ball to Aiden Mizell was great. I love the play call right after the interception to go deep. I think it was Malachi Starks that was in a blender on that play. He bit on a Lagway, whatever. I don't even know what he bit at. And then Aiden Mizell just completely wide open, which goes back to my take earlier this year that I thought he should have started over Speartoe. But
it's not even that great of a take, man. It's just common sense.
It's certainly it's different because you have to account. I think Aiden Warner can run. He's not a statue, but he's not DJ Lagway. I got people jump down my throat when I was like, "Hey, I've seen this kid throw. He can spin it." And then he skipped a couple rocks, but like, listen, that's
I cooked you, man.
He did have a couple throws. He had a couple throws.
Everyone was so nice to me all week until I sent that tweet, and I was like, damn, I'm getting cooked out here. Like, he can throw. You got to also put it into perspective. Like, hey, wasn't supposed to play. All of a sudden, I'm a Florida Gator fan my whole life, and all of a sudden now I'm in the Florida-Georgia game playing quarterback when I didn't think I was going to. Maybe a little nerves going through. The kid can throw the ball. He's not – I didn't say he was DJ Lagway, that he had that kind of arm strength. I said, hey, this kid can spin a little bit. And I think right after that, he sailed one into row 3 and skipped one. And I was like, come on, man. Don't do this to me, Aiden. Don't do this to me right now. I'm like, guy.
Yo.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I think I give the guy credit, right? It's a tough position to find yourself in against, the number 2 team in the country. You're a walk-on. You weren't expected to play. You, I guess, apparently beat out Clay Millen who was the former Colorado State guy. I guess there's some rumors that he was going to redshirt this year to create some separation. But you're out there, and, I don't want to completely dog on him because it's hard to win with a third-string quarterback. However, I think that merits the question of that's a roster management issue that Florida and Billy Napier have found themselves in, not just that you're on your fifth string quarterback. If your third string quarterback is a sophomore transfer from Yale walk-on, that's a you problem, not an Aiden Warner problem.
Well, there was another quarterback on the field on the other sideline who I don't think to any fault of Billy was on the other sideline. There's a kid in Ole Miss right now who would have been on that. Like, Billy's gotten high star quarterbacks to commit to him.
Well, Austin Simmons was never committed.
I think he was.
But publicly, yeah. He was damn near committed, man.
Well, but that's still a you problem, right? Like, if
you didn't expect Jaden Kittner to have the FBI kick down his door. Like there's been a bunch of things that have affected.
But that's year one at this point. Yeah, that's
year
one. It's a lot
Mac Brown, right? You've not replaced, right? And if you bring in Clay Millen, right, who was a freshman All-American, I think, at Colorado State, there's probably an anticipation that he should be somewhat ready to go as well. But again, you find yourself in this position because Florida has, and it's not just Billy Napier, it's been the last decade plus. Actually, it's probably been since the John Brantley, Cam Newton debacle behind Tim Tebow, who would then start, and then you never really built yourself true separation, or you had issues that kind of continued to come up.
Florida fans, I think it's the Tebow bill. It's just still paying off that bill. It was a fancy dinner. The bottles were flowing. Mm-hmm. Everyone got the extra cut filet mignon. Porterhouses were ordered, and still paying off the bill.
Yeah. No, we're not putting touchdown Jesus name on any of this curse that we got going on at quarterback. But the depth chart and where we at quarterback wise, I harped on it all weekend. I probably should have went and go touch some grass or jump on a boat with Dan. Yeah. But I was just super annoyed with the way the depth chart is and the excuses that's being made. But your QB3 at good, respectable university that are consistently winning, you should have at the minimum a scholarship quarterback, not a preferred walk-on that you got through the transfer portal. And year 3. My outlook on the position, it freaks me out because this Lagway a bust, in my opinion. Like everything else on the depth chart, Mertz is gone. So I look at the rest of the depth chart, just not excited about anything else on it. And then 2025, we don't have anybody committed. So to me, the quarterback room and how it's being managed is ugly right now, and I don't know how we fix that.
Well, it's hard to keep 3 blue chips because Georgia
when you're losing.
Yeah. But even Georgia, Kirby kept getting there was a stretch for 4 or 5 years in a row where he just kept getting a top 3 quarterback in the country. Mm-hmm. Only one quarterback can play. You can share snaps at running back. You're not doing that at quarterback. And since the transfer portal era, guys can leave. Now, I'm not absolving Billy of this. You need to continue signing guys just for that reason, because there is so much mobility or freedom of mobility. And quarterbacks are looking to play now. They're not looking to sit and wait 3-4 years for the most part.
Yeah, but I don't even know.
Go ahead. Dan.
I was just going to say there's a lot of people talking about blue chip quarterbacks. I don't even know if that's the case, right? When Miller left and Max Brown left, the Gators entered before Lagway joined with 1 quarterback on the roster. Then you get Lagway, you get Millen, and you get Warner. That's not a desirable situation that any program like the University of Florida should find themselves in going into year 3 of your program. And I think that that's kind of where the question is they've had a lot of bad luck, right? We didn't even talk about Marcus Stokes, as well. And he was committed.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. I mean, kind of a string of, Billy Napier doesn't want to talk about being snake bitten, but I mean, he's somewhat snake bitten in that he's had some pretty bad luck, but luck is when preparation meets opportunity, and when you're not prepared, then you're going to have bad luck, right? But yeah, so you have a walk-on, You have a guy that transferred from Colorado State who's apparently redshirting this year. I mean, probably not anymore if he has to come in. That's just not a position you want to find yourself. And we posited this question a couple weeks ago about, does Florida have to change the way that they play DJ Lagway for risk of injury because you don't know what's behind him? Well, non-contact injury, and now Florida finds themselves in just a terrible situation.
Yeah, I think there's just no excuses for the third guy to be a walk-on. That's like, people can spin it however they want, but you look around the country, the third quarterback on the roster, and then we have none committed. Like, you have the guys that you missed on. Rashada, he's QB4 at Georgia. You have the kid that's at Ole Miss, he's QB3. And then both of those kids, I do want to, Austin Simmons, I do want to like just tap into, like, everybody that knows recruiting, you know what you're getting into when you're recruiting Jaden Rashada. So the money thing that unfolded and how all that fell apart, everybody in recruiting knew what it was. It was a bidding war. It was all about money. Austin Simmons was the same thing. It was a money-driven situation. You vet these kids. That's a part of the evaluation process. When you're evaluating a quarterback, you're evaluating his family, what I got to do to land him, NIL, what this kid is coming here for. And in all those situations, we all knew. We talked about it in our group chat, even when Austin Simmons recruiting came up, of this is a money play. How's it going to play out? So you missed on guys that you made QB1 in recruiting, and then it just unfolds. So when you, those misses at the time, the fans were saying, oh, it don't matter, we're getting Lagway. That was the excuse. When you miss on Rashad, oh, it don't matter, we're getting Lagway. And then when Lagway goes down, those guys you missed on that didn't matter because you was getting Lagway would have stepped in. So you missed in recruiting. It's okay to be critical of the coaches. They missed. They missed badly. They evaluated badly. They evaluated one guy that wasn't just about money, and that was DJ Lagway. Those other recruits, they evaluated wrong. Even with Stokes, they missed. Even if Stokes didn't get the N-word thing didn't happen, he just wasn't good. So they got to evaluate better. It's okay to just criticize coaches for their misses at the quarterback position. Our quarterback room is looking very Willie Taggart-ish, and it's because we missed in the EI process.
You never want to go full Willie Taggart.
You just can't. You can't miss year after year. 3 years you're going on year 4, right? As the head coach at University of Florida, they give you the 4th year. You've brought in one high school prospect, one at the quarterback position. That's malpractice.
Looking at
you're muted, Dan.
Looked up Marcus Stokes. He's played in 6 games, 162 attempts, completing 56% of his passes, 12 touchdowns, 7 interceptions at
Where's he at?
University of West Florida. He is an Argonaut.
Yeah. I know Max Brown's at Charlotte and Jalen Kitten is at UAB, if I remember correctly now. But no, Corey, I think that you make an exceptionally valid point that in your 3rd year, the only quarterback that's on campus that you recruited out of high school is DJ Lagway. Obviously an incredible get, but still not what is going to make the team successful long-term, right? So, and then what do you do entering next year too, right? I mean, that's where this stuff kind of starts to add up too, right? You lose Graham Mertz, and then you have still Aiden Warner, Clay Millen, who maybe we think got beat out, right, by Warner. So he's redshirting this year. You don't have a guy committed in this class, so I guess you'll go to the transfer portal and be like, hey,
you have to. But
DJ Lagway.
Yeah, it reminds me of how we talked about it with running back. And I was like, hey, Florida needs another running back. But at the time, you had Trevor Etienne and Montrell Johnson. And I think Trayon Webb was committed, and they needed a portal guy. And then Cam Carroll bets on himself. And I think prior to his pretty devastating knee injury, was winning that bet. And was going to be the third string running back behind those 2 guys. But that's going to be the situation you're in. You have to get a quarterback this cycle, if not 2 quarterbacks this cycle. You want to have at least 4 scholarship quarterbacks. And I think Clay Millen's on scholarship, so you have 2. Aiden Warner, he's a preferred walk-on. They said that he could earn a scholarship in the spring. When he showed up in the spring, they do your your intake, your medicals, and he had a torn ACL, so he didn't play at all in the spring. So he could be on scholarship, but like it doesn't change your point. Like it's a preferred walk-on is now your starter because of the way you've recruited and the way the thing. And I agree to you to some extent, Silk. Like, hey, some of it's an evaluation, a character evaluation, I guess, or a situation evaluation. That flowed off the tongue well. Situation evaluation. But like he's gotten while the offense has been bad, he continues to get whatever he's selling. These elite high school quarterback prospects are buying it. Interesting. When there's nothing to show for it on the field, he's not even like walking up with film and being like, "Hey, look, aren't you excited about throwing these 5-yard hitches? We can do that 30 times a game." You're going to complete 85%, dog.
Let's talk more of the game, man. I do want to get into like the nuances of the game, man. Overall, I thought the defense played well enough to win the game, just straight up. Want to give them flowers on that side of the ball. Them guys have played improved football since the Miami and Texas A&M game. I did challenge them and didn't want to bleed the hype. I want to see if they face a decent quarterback, what they do. And they came to play ball. They gave up some yardage, but unlike previous years with Georgia, they didn't get on the scoreboard. We got turnovers. We affected the quarterback. Like you can see the big difference in the quarterback. And in the defense. So do want to give flowers to that side of the ball. 13. I told y'all I like 0, but 13 is healthy. That boy is a straight up football player, bro. Like, all over the field causing havoc. What you thought of Aaron Gates, Scarlett?
Yeah, man, I thought he was a beast, man. He was showing up all over the field, making plays when he needed to make plays. Definitely was like the player of the game, in my opinion, man. The defense stood up how we needed them to, but just unfortunately, man, that offense just couldn't come through, man.
The offense, even to get into break it up for us, Dan.
Yeah. We can talk a little bit about the offense. We start with rushing. The Gators get 156 yards on the ground, 4.3 yards per attempt with a touchdown. Jacoby Jackson leads the team in yards with 74 on 12 attempts. Jaden Boss, 17 attempts for 64 yards. DJ Lagway, 4 attempts for 18 yards. I thought the offense from a rushing attack, you're never going to give up a ton of yards or you're never going to get a bunch of yards on the ground against Georgia's defense unless you're a Treon Harris led team. But I thought Jacoby Jackson played really, really well. I thought Jaden Ball ran hard. I love the way that both of those guys have played. I love the energy, the size, what they're able to do from a power back position with some speed too. But I love the addition of both of those guys into this room next year. And we'll talk a little bit about what next year looks like. But you keep both of those guys, I really like Florida's running back room going into next year.
Well, I got a question for Jordan. You played against Kirby. Obviously, they recruit really well, and they've got good guys, and sometimes it's more about Johnny and Joe than X's and O's. But What makes them difficult defensively, just in terms of the running game?
I would just say physicality, man. Like as far as their defensive line goes, he's always done a good job of getting like top tier defensive linemen, not necessarily like 5-star guys, but like guys that play really tough football, like. And they're nasty dudes, like obviously no homo, but like you know what I mean. They're real physical and real solid up front. So I feel like that's what he's always done a good job of over the years, like getting real elite D linemen. And going against that, man, it's just always going to be a challenge. And all you need to do is just have some some linebackers that can shoot some gaps and just fill the gap. I mean, the D line makes it so easy for them that basically it's like not to say like you don't have to be good. They've produced some really good linebackers as well, but just for the most part, the D-line is just so elite that makes it so tough to run. And I feel like he's always done a good job of recruiting those over the past.
There was one play, I remember seeing the clip of it on Twitter, and I think it was Najee Harris, or maybe it was Damian George, like pulling guard to the left side, and then all of a sudden there's a linebacker like 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, and Damian George has nothing but grass in front of him. I'm like, that is a linebacker's absolute worst nightmare. pulling guard. Nobody's even sniffed him, touched him, gotten close to him, and he's running right at you. And he like picked up old boy and threw him into the end zone. Like that's
mauled.
Linebackers going to the defensive line or going to the D line, being like, "Yo, what was that?"
For real though. Yeah, hey, Georgia's always had a really good, solid defense.
What did you see from our run game? Like, why do you think? I know, like, I like what we saw. We all love the running. But why do you think we were so successful versus them on Saturday?
I think we just stayed with our bread and butters. You know, I felt like we was hitting our really routine runs that our O-line blocks the best, and I felt like that kind of got our guys comfortable and got them the confidence to continue to run these plays. Because I feel like a lot of the times, offensive coordinators try to get cold feet and get scared, and they may want to call some other plays or try to change something up just to kind of show the defense something different. And your guys aren't really used to blocking now. They're not used to that play call. So I feel like we did a good job of staying with our routine stuff, and it gave our guys confidence to be able to blow them off the ball and create some running lanes for us.
They just almost
I didn't see that traditional I didn't see the traditional Billy Napier trick play. We usually get one of those a game. I didn't see one of those.
That's what I say. I feel like I love the way that it was calling plays. They was very confident in what they was trying to do, and as well as just sticking to what they know, man, and like trusting in their guys. Like y'all put in this work all season to like basically come out and perform in games like this. So trust your guys, trust the system. Let's trust the play calls and let's roll, baby.
Yeah, that RPO was my key to the game. And I do think Lagway's threat to run kept their linebackers disciplined and at home and playing like not as aggressive as they would normally play versus us with a Mertz. And I think we saw that when Lagway went out too. So some of the pull action that we were playing around with linebackers wasn't even respecting it. So yeah, Lagway was definitely a key to the run game, and him just makes the run game better. It helps the offensive line out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you got like I keep saying it. You got to play 11 hats on 11 hats with him, and then he has such unique accuracy on the deep ball too. You add that in, and now you're really worrying about like, well, shoot, we can't get beat over the top. We can't have him take the top off. But also, if I'm a linebacker, and it was a play against Kentucky, a linebacker had to turn and dropped into like intermediate middle coverage, and Lagway just zipped the ball back while his back was turned to the line. So it's like, I can't fit the run. If my back is turned, he might take off. Having someone with DJ Lagway's skill set is a complete game changer for the offense, which we probably won't see this week. Despite Billy Napier not closing the book on DJ playing this week, but we will see.
I'm closing the book. I think he pump faking. This is all chess, gamesmanship. I don't think that kid is about to play.
That D Wade pump fake got him every time.
I don't think he should play. Honestly, I think he just sit it out and just let that hamstring nothing to play with. It can go from 2 weeks to 10 that quick.
Yeah.
You know what? At this point of the season, what's 2 weeks? What's 10?
That's very true. But at the same time,
if your job on the line, like
Nick wants DJ Lagway to have lifelong lingering hamstring issues, just so he can.
How dare you? I would never say that.
The line moves from Gators plus 22 to Gators plus 20.
You gotta keep that puppet
that's
job.
More of what I'm thinking. Like if you know this kid is your future, I mean, you gotta kind of like protect them.
And sometimes too, I say it about baseball too. Like the adults need to protect the kids. Like DJ Lagway is going to tell you, yeah, I'm fine. I get to go back home to Texas and play against like the state university of my home state. Like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm cool. Shit.
I ain't gonna
team Toradol, baby. Shoot it up. Let's go.
Don't judge me, dog, but I shed like 3 tears when he went down.
Tears.
Real 3 thug tears, dog. Like shit broke me, bro. Cause when he hit Mazzell after the turnover, the turnover already had me hyped. I'm in my living room, like I'm jumping on the ottoman. I'm going crazy. I'm like, yeah, we about to beat this shit, bro. And I had tweeted, I said, yo, we got to go deep right here. You know what I'm saying? Like they back against the wall. We got a gunslinger. And then Billy do it. He didn't go conservative. I was like, Billy, like you in your bag right now. I'm hyping him up in my living room. And then we get the ball back, and it felt like momentum. I thought we was about to go up even more. On that drive, he went down. I was like, yo, we about to go down and get some more points. And then he went down, dog. I was praying that it wasn't an ACL or nothing crazy. And I felt like Dan when he first went down, like, screw the whole city of Jacksonville. Let's not come back to this place, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. That turf was monstering. the Gators.
Only we were slipping though.
That's what I mean. I was just going to say something with the equipment. I don't know what it was.
Well, Georgia had a couple guys go down. Trevor Etienne got hurt. I know they.
Well, Trevor Etienne got hurt in a rib injury, not
his
slipping and
feelings.
sliding.
No, his feelings got hurt.
Yeah, his mom's feelings got real hurt too, you know.
Yeah.
Before we talk about the rest of the offense, want to give some super chats here. Russell, very impressed with how Billy Napier had us ready for the game and the fight in our team. Team definitely is fighting for sure. However, 100%. I feel Jimbo having Winston, Norvell having Travis is not that much different than Nape having DJ minus the winning. Big caveat inside of those parentheses. Go Gators, Russell. Thank you so much, Anthony. Beck, we easily win this game if DJ Lagway doesn't get hurt. Unique Production says, what's up, Silk? And also offered his hotspot to you, Jordan, and then said that the Gators were bullying the both lines of scrimmage. So appreciate everybody do the super chat.
Pushing that junk around, man.
Yeah, so we could talk a little bit about that. On offense, or pardon me, on the offensive line here, the Gators did really, really well in pass blocking. One of the highest scores of the year that they've had. Damian George graded out as your best pass blocker in this game, followed by Bryce Levitt. He only had 12 snaps. Austin Barber, Brandon Crenshaw, Dixon, and then Jake Slaughter. All of them got scores above 80, which is really solid for PFF. And then Najee Harris got a 74.6. In pass blocking. Run blocking a little bit different, even though the Gators had some success there. They ranked most of their line pretty poor. So I don't know if I 100% agree. I think the Gators were able to hit some holes, but you know, that's PFF, and that's why we always give a caveat when we say that that's what these scores are. So, but I thought the Gators did really, really well on the offensive line in this game, as good as you're going to do. Obviously, Georgia's going to have a lot of dogs, no pun intended. But I think that they gave quarterbacks enough time, and I think they gave, players the opportunity to get some yards on the ground. So Gators obviously didn't end up with a ton of total yards in the game. I think that that's completely different if DJ Lagway plays. But yeah, any thoughts on the offensive line?
First two drives, it was more stalemates. I thought Georgia may have won the line of scrimmage game, their defense versus our offense, the first two drives. It took a little minute to get rolling. I didn't like the way we looked, and I tweeted that out. But after that, even when Lagway went down, because he makes our running game go just a little bit stronger when he's in there with that threat to run. But even when he went down, we were still getting chunk yardage. Like the points we went and got was on the back of our run game. So the offensive line, that outside run we got on the perimeter with Jacoby when he scored, like I could have ran that in, just straight up. I could have ran that joint in. He has so much room for activities.
Wow. So
just flowers to the offensive line. I'm not a PFF guy, but I'm gonna get credit where credit's due. That's a bunch. We just started so slow with trying to figure out who, and they should have had this kind of figured out, like who should be where. And I think the Miami game, the Texas A&M game is different, but this staff is just they make personnel changes way too slow. Like you got to be able to figure out who's the Himothy's and put them in the positions to make plays, man. As we're starting to see, not just offensive line, the other positions as well. We're starting to see guys start to make plays late in the season, and we all thought they should have been playing earlier anyway. So
yeah, the first quarter was nothing to write home about. 26 yards, 3.7 per rush. I think
right. They started slow.
3. Yeah. Second quarter was where it was at. Florida scored 13, buck 24 in the quarter. Like the rest of the game, I mean, massive caveat, with DJ going down, but 10 yards in the third quarter coming out of half, and only 68 in the fourth. But
which
yeah,
is kind of incredible when you think that the Gators were tied with just a few minutes left in the game when you read those numbers, right?
Yeah, no, that's
getting turnovers, man.
Yeah,
man. That was a tough one to watch, though, for sure, man. Just seeing how close we was, and like you said, at the end of the game, we haven't really been doing anything on offense, and we're still in this ball game. That was just a tough one to swallow, but man, it happens sometimes for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I said. I'm going into every game. I think we got the talent to beat everybody on our schedule. I said this in the beginning of the year, and some people thought I was crazy. Well, I think the schedule's overblown. see it's going to be tough every year. Next year we got the same schedule. Like, this is what it is. But this staff has done a good job with stacking the talent. The talent's there. And if we're losing football games, as we all know, like, it comes down to a lot of the coaching and decisions being made, in coaching and just football games or just game of inches and also a game of just real small decisions that add up. And that's where we're away. It ain't the talent. When he first got here, it was Dan Mullen's talent and the lack of recruiting, but they flipped the roster. Mm-hmm. It's talent all over the football field, and we see this each and every week. Georgia's gap between us and them is just depth. It ain't really, starter for starter. And even when we guys, like, there were guys going down, we still was in the game and competing, even though we were losing guys. So the talent is there. We're just coaching decisions away from being a playoff team.
Edward, I'll get to your question here in a second. I think it's a good one. Let's see. Gators passing. Obviously, DJ Lagway does go down. He was 2 for 47 yards.
Coach is getting on you. It's the death.
Oh,
hey, man.
DJ Lagway goes 2 for 6 for 47 yards with the touchdown to Aiden Mizell. Aiden Warner goes 7 of 24 for 66 yards, 1 interception, a bad interception, just, tough position to be in. So we'll just run through receiving real quick. Not a ton to write home about. Aiden Mizell, 66 yards. Elijah Badger, 36 yards. Shim DK, 8 yards and nearly a helmet-to-helmet, but definitely got popped. And then Arliss Boardingham with 3 yards there. So obviously not a lot of there's a lot of targets, not a lot of great catchable balls in that group, but yeah, I mean, the Gators relied on turnovers and their rushing attack to try to move the ball downfield. And, you hope to see a little bit more, with a week of starting reps with Warner at quarterback. So with that, that'll close the offensive side of the ball. We'll go defense. I know we're welcoming Bo Scaife, former NFL and University of Texas tight end, here in a bit as well. So want to make sure that we cover that. But any final thoughts on the offense?
Yeah, we didn't miss Etienne. Hasn't missed him this season. He may have been the 4th best running back on the entire field. So I just want to harp on that. Everybody that lost their mind, he left. I know y'all cried a few tears when he first left and it hurt. It's more embarrassing than it was anything else. Production-wise, these guys, staff, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. They evaluate very well in the running back room, even with Jacoby coming in and through the Cam Carroll got hurt, but you could just see it. Talent in the back room. We didn't miss a beat. And shout out to Etienne transferring for 30 yards, man.
And I mean, Montrell Johnson obviously didn't play. Trey Webb, we haven't really seen much of. I mean, he's on the injury report anymore, is he?
I wasn't watching it as closely as I was.
I got you. 8-10 Wednesdays. I don't think he is. And then you still have Kaden Daniels. So that running back room is loaded with depth.
Yeah, I said in the summer, like Trevor Etienne leaving, it was worse for the perception than it would be for the production.
Right.
If I'm anyone's puppet, I think I'm Montrell Johnson's puppet. I seem to be the only one that still thinks he's a good running back.
No, he's not a bad running back, but I think
bring you back to my side slowly. Yeah, it's and Jordan can maybe speak to this. Like, his patience, I think, and he just turned 19 2 weeks ago. His patience to kind of like let things develop, I think, is unique. That's something that you see guys come in and, hey, I'm in college, everyone's fast. Let me just get to where I need to go. I know exactly what I'm supposed to do here, and you maybe don't run into it. You run out of a play because you're trying to do what you're doing instead of watching the play develop and being patient. And then that jump cut that he has, like, he's patient, and then something opens and then he's gone. I think that's a really unique skill set that he has, especially for how young he is.
He lose 5 to 8 pounds. Like, he just got
how dare you body shame
fluff.
How dare you body shame him?
You're Mr. Cheek Check. You lead the league in cheek checks, bro.
My guy is squatting 545, and you're calling him fluffy.
I'm just saying he could lose 5 pounds. He could trim a little fluff, and I think the breakaway speed gets better. He's a little bit more explosive, dog. But the vision, the jump cuts, the the patience. Like he's one of I think the best backs in the SEC, bro. Like, he's gonna be one of them guys, man. Yeah. He's like a core. If we don't know what's gonna happen here, coaching decision wise, but he's one of those core pieces you gotta just keep here. You gotta find money to keep him, whatever it takes to keep that guy here.
Yeah. Yesterday's price won't be tomorrow's price for Jaden Ball in NIL. That's for sure.
100%. That price is up.
A Le'Veon Bell comp might be good.
Yeah, he's definitely real patient at the line, man. He's a slow to fast through kind of guy, and I kind of like that.
Ooh, I like that. Slow to fast through.
Nah, for sure. That's how you got to do it if you're playing running back, man. That's the way to go. Because, like you said, a lot of people come.
Might be the name of the show.
Slow to fast through, baby. That's the way you got to go.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like a lot of dudes come to the college level and they not necessarily are scared, but they thinking that they gotta speed up the tempo and hit the hole fast or hit the hole hard because these are bigger and more physical guys. And sometimes that's always not the case, man. Sometimes you gotta just do it the way you gotta do it. Be patient. That's what kind of opens up those holes, and let your O-line be able to create those holes for you. Because if you hit it too fast, sometimes your line really ain't really get their hands in there yet.
Yeah. 3 to 5 seconds of relentless effort hitting the hole. I get it.
You gotta take your time.
I get it.
You gotta warm her up. Gotta warm her up, man.
Same. You know what I mean? Retweet that. I like that. No, I get
that process
Spider-Man,
though, Jordan. When did you realize that? Because you come in and you're like, all right, these guys are bigger, faster, stronger. That hole, if I see it, I got to get there right quick. This is just a tough topic to talk about.
No.
Just tough words. Tough words to navigate here.
Yeah.
I would say it was after my freshman year, man. I kind of dealt with some not playing a lot, and team run used to be my thing. When we go to team running practice, that was almost like my game time for me because I'm going against the ones, and I want to make those reps count. So that's why I kind of groomed myself to be able to build that mindset of, okay, I'm going against these dogs, but let me let my O-line work. Let me let them create the holes for me and I can hit it down and however it went. So it took a little time throughout my entire freshman year. I would say I kind of really developed that skill to where I could transition into my sophomore year to kind of peak at the way I did.
Who was your guy? Who when you saw a big number, one of those 50s, 60s, or 70s, who was your guy that you were like, listen, if I see that number, we're following him into battle?
I had a couple. I can't lie. At first, it used to be Fred just because he was so big. But
you get lost behind Fred. No one can see
Fred. Exactly. I used to always want to run behind Fred because he was just so, obviously he's long, he's big. It's a lot to get around that guy for real. So he was my go-to at first. But then TJ McCoy, man, he was a real physical dude. Very underrated, very small. But I knew if I was running behind TJ, he gonna make sure he knocking somebody on the floor. So TJ was definitely one of my go-to guys once it got later in the year.
It's crazy. They call TJ small. He's still 6'2", 290. In terms of human, not small, but like a little kid in the offensive line room.
Beside Fred Johnson, he's small.
Yeah,
Fred's a man.
Yeah, Fred. Shout out to Fred. He's still doing the league, bro. It caught me off guard. I kind of knew that John Buller was still in the league. And then he the intros on Sunday Night Football. I'm like, damn, bro, Buller's been in the league for a minute now. Yeah. That's John.
There's a lot of guys still in the league. Shout out to Demarcus Robinson, 2 touchdowns yesterday, including
Honey Thunder's popping off.
I'll never forget when he just arrived on UF's campus. Everybody thought he was going to Clemson. He just arrived. I'm like, oh, Will Muschamp got him one. National championship time. Here we go.
The lies I told about Honey,
man. All right,
offense just wasn't there, but he had the skills, man. But let's move on to the defense.
I mean, he's making his money now, so shout out to him. Let's get to the defense side of the ball. Before we do that, let's give a shout out to our friends over at Homefield Apparel. Go visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale at checkout, and you will get 15% off of your order. It's a great gift to give to your Florida Gator fans in your life. They got a bunch of other schools, a lot of really cool retro logos. They've got the baseball pullovers. They've got the starter-looking jackets. They've got a lot of different stuff. So whether it's University of Florida friend in your life or about 100 different other schools, go check them out. Homefieldapparel.com. Promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word. Defensive side of the ball, Aaron Gates ranks as your best defender in that game. Devin Moore is right after him. Justice Boone. Derek Wingo ranks 4th. He had a couple plays. Miles Graham, then Tyreek Sapp, Jack Pyburn. He got an interception. Brian Taylor, Cormani McLean, and RJ Moten. Not necessarily the list that one might expect, but Aaron Gates, want to give him his flowers. I think he made back-to-back plays that ultimately culminated in that interception. Just an outstanding game for Aaron Gates, and he is playing just absolutely exceptional right now.
He's just
running that alley with bad intentions. I ain't had a safety or a star run that alley like that with bad intentions in so long, dog. Like he with the CTE action. You know, he knifing in. He don't really care, bro. Like at defense, you gotta have like no regard for your body to be great. You know what I'm saying? Like the ones that are really good, you gotta fly around a little bit, bro. And it's
a mixture of instincts and reckless abandon that he has.
Reckless abandonment, bro. He can knife in too, so he ain't just a crash dummy. Like if there's a bigger guy or a couple guys, he can knife in between guys. We've seen in previous games where he to the ball carry, gets to the plays, makes plays, and then on the back end he makes the interception. And then the next series, you know what they did? They benched him. I was like, what the hell's going on? Leave him out there. Don't take him off the field.
He just
maybe he did the Anthony
Gatorade. Needs some Gatorade.
No, that guy don't get tired, man. But what they need to do is find a way to get. You gotta get your St. Thomas. Get your St. Thomas.
My guy Tyreek Sapp creating pressure. Derek Wingo coming through the gap, gets his sack. PFF said no sacks on their grades, but literally saw that. Definitely saw it.
No, definitely had a sack that Coin Sports got right.
Sorry to cut you off, but it's our new weekly St. Thomas segment.
No, shout out to Tyreek, man. He came out there in bikini shorts again, man. That guy,
bro,
it's a family show. He's got to put on pants, man. Eventually, he's coming out there and booty.
He went to a Catholic
shorts.
school. Back in Catholic school, they would put a note card on like a girl's knee. It's like, hey, if your skirt isn't touching this note card, Tyreek Sapp, it's like a scroll from his knee to where the bottom of his shorts are.
All right, so. Yeah, Gators did get 2 sacks. PFF doesn't want to recognize that, but we have Derek Wingo and Miles Graham with a sack recorded in this game. Jack Pyburn gets an interception. Just a great play by the defense to force that kind of tip ball interception. Devin Moore gets one where he baited Carson Beck and then just backpedals back, intercepts the ball right in front of the Georgia wide receiver as well. So, and then did I miss one? Oh yeah, and then we obviously the Aaron Gates one that we had just talked about before. I thought he was close to housing that one.
Yeah, boy, after one of those interceptions, Kirby put his hands on Beck's shoulders, and I imagine the conversation was, "Hey man, I've done a lot here, and you're going to get me fired. Can you figure this out? You're going to get me fired today."
Yeah, but where is he going to go? He's not on the list. You know what I mean? So
maybe he would have been on, Dan. Maybe the list is ever fluid.
The list is fluid. Let's go over run defense. Justice Boone ranks as your best, followed by Miles Graham, Tyreek Sapp, Bryce Thornton, and Cormani McLean. From a pass rush perspective, Derek Wingo, Shamar James, Miles Graham, Jordan Castell, and Justice Boone are your winners there. It's weird, Nick, if you go to Pro Football Focus, it says the Gators don't have any sacks, but if you go to the pass rush, it'll list it there. And then in coverage, Aaron Gates, Devin Moore, Derek Wingo, Jack Pyburn, and then Jordan Castell round out your top 5. Cormani McLean, number 6 there. So
Pyburn is an absolute gangster, and he a out too. Like he's one of the ones that's trying to spill, sacrifice his body. We had defensive ends in the past where they get greedy. They want to get the stats and the glory. Pyburn does the dirty work. We watched him on special teams last year, just run down and be a wet and just hit people, just feel. He still crash dummying out like that, bro. As a defensive, I love the kid.
His poor mother, like she must have thought he was going to kill himself all the time. Like he seems like a kid that would like run through the sliding glass door.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Like he was a handful.
You feel sorry for the glass door. Yeah.
You start turning those Chuck Norris jokes that people used to have way back when, Jack Pyburn jokes.
yeah.
Cedric, appreciate the super chat. All those 904 kids making plays on defense, as always.
Shout out to Dan. Shout out to Dan.
Shout out
like that.
Up there.
City of Jacksonville showing up on their home turf. I had like 7 people correct me because I called it turf instead of grass. I was like, I thought we as a society just said whatever the playing surface is turf, but yeah.
I Googled bad grass and just took a random picture from the internet and tweeted it. I was like, oh, this is the turf at Everbank. And people took it seriously. I was like, all right, I need to delete this. People think that like I'm on the 40-yard line taking a picture. Like, hey, can you go to commercial? I got to get this picture real quick. So I didn't want to be, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be fake news.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. Defensive side of the ball. I think we've covered a lot. I think that they played well, played really well in that game. Not a great game by Pup Howard, according to Pro Football Focus, but overall, I think the defense did enough to win that game. Certainly a little probably run down towards the end. Played a lot of snaps on defense in this game. Gosh, I wish I could look. Let's see. They had 76 plays on defense. And, some of those drives, especially in the third and fourth, were short, very short drives. And Georgia was moving the ball. They just weren't scoring. I listened to part of the game on the radio, and I was coming back from this baby shower that I was at during halftime. And so I missed part of it. And they were talking. Yeah, I know. Well, I talked about, it's not something, it is what it is.
It's about balance.
Yeah. It was an unbelievable house, but people don't want me to talk about my weekend, so I skipped that part. But they talked about being bend don't break, and I think that's what the defense was, for this game. Obviously, you forced 3 turnovers. You forced Carson Beck to look very mediocre for most of that game, and I do want to give them a shout out. I think Ron Roberts moving up to the box. I think Austin Armstrong on the field has made a world of difference. And I think that if you look at this defense, you've got some really solid players on this team. And I think you've got some really solid players that are going to be playing in the NFL on this defense right now. And I think the jump that they've made from week 1 and week 3 to now is very impressive. So I do want to give them their flowers for the last 5 games.
And
what I don't want to ever see again. Go ahead. You go first.
I'm saying portal pending, they will be an older group next year with a lot of juniors, potentially redshirt sophomores, juniors, seniors. If guys come back, you're gonna need to replace specifically the interior defensive line with some guys. But like you bring Mekhi Barrow back, so it still is like I don't know that they're young because you have a good mix of like older guys: Jaquez, DJ Douglas, Slackman, Cam,
young
Banks.
enough to be good next year.
But you have a lot of guys who are redshirt freshmen, sophomores who are getting a ton of reps that will come back. So Florida's defense might have found something, since that first bye week in portal pending. That's a trademark. They should be a really good unit next year.
P squared. I don't know who this decision to put Desmond Watson defensive end, but don't ever do that again. That whole stunt, like, just don't do that. I like what it is doing, but you're overthinking it once you put Dez at defensive end.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts on when's Bo going to be here, Corey?
He's ready. I'll have to pull up.
Yeah, tell him to join. All right, so we didn't talk a little bit more about DJ Lagway.
Real quick.
10 minutes. So he said 10 minutes 5 minutes ago, so he'll be in 5 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Shout out to my guy, Jeremy Crawshaw. 4th time this season. He was named to the Ray Guys Great 8.
That's
incredible. Too.
You still have a vote, Nick?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Just want to make sure that didn't go away.
Still have my my Ray Guy Award vote. Proud Ray Guy voter. I think the most important award in college football.
Do you have it on your Twitter or X?
No, I should.
You should. I think it would create some, especially in these uncertain times for yourself, some credibility.
Some credibility.
I don't know that I have any credibility
The
left.
guy voted.
That's been gone for years.
Yeah. No, Nick's gonna land on his feet. He's got a lot in the hopper. All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about the DJ Lagway injury. What have we heard? What do we know? I think, oh, by the way, if you were anticipating this show, DJ Lagway's mom and his agent were going to come on. That got moved to next week. Obviously, we didn't anticipate there being, an injury and then a change in flight. So they'll be on next week. So we'll talk a little bit more about it. But have we heard anything? I mean, there should be no expectation of him playing this year. But I've got a follow-up question. It just happens to be the last comment that we got to.
So initially, it looks bad. Getting carted anytime you're carted off the field, looks bad. This is no Paul Pierce getting wheeled off the court only to jog back 5 minutes later. Only a Celtic would do that. But initially you do an X-ray to see if the ligament, if the hamstring is torn off the bone. No, an X-ray to see if there's a tear from the bone. That's what you would do first, and they have that. Like the X-ray right there. You're in an NFL facility. You've got that. And then you go do an MRI. He had a couple MRIs. Billy Napier on Monday said the prognosis is much better than they thought initially. The initial thought is probably he's done for the year. So much better than the initial thought. Does that mean he's out 1 week? He's out 3 weeks? Can he play against FSU? Can he play against Texas? He was asked. I don't say we. He was asked. Billy was asked. Monday, when he said that, do you mean he can come back this year or you're not closing the door for this weekend? He said this weekend. Now, I think that's some gamesmanship. I wouldn't expect DJ to play. They'll do everything they can. The doctors and the facility at UF Health are second to none, so he's in great hands. But, yeah, it's just I know Billy doesn't want to say it, but, yeah, like a little snake bit.
Yeah.
What if it's just a really bad Charlie horse?
I don't think it's a really bad Charlie horse.
But what if it is? I think it's what Corey's asking.
What if it is?
And he's throwing for 450 on Bo's team this week. That's what's happening.
Maybe he just needs some water. We've got
Florida never wanted to beat Georgia. They manufactured this fake injury to lull Texas into a false sense of security, only to throw DJ out there. It was a long game.
I've had some bad Charlie horses, man. Felt like I tore
you and DJ are similar athletes, so
I feel like played college ball. You know what I mean?
I feel like that's a shot, man. Charlie horse is Charlie horse, man.
In fact, I'm the only one on this podcast that didn't play college ball. I'm fantastic intramural safety, not a big deal. But shout
out to the D3 grinders.
There's just one. There's just one of you. So Bo was here. And now he's not. So we'll wait for Bo to come back. Oh, there he is. So let's get a quick ad read. Then we'll welcome Bo Scaife onto the show. Pour one out or pour one in for our friends over at Gametime Sidekicks. If you are looking for the best drinkware for Florida Gator fans or for a lot of different colleges that are out there, go visit Gametime Sidekicks. Great cups, great pricing. It's going to keep your hot drinks hot, your cold drinks cold. I've had ice in this drink for 4 hours, and there's still some left. So go check it out. GametimeSidekicks.com. Use promo code STADIUM15 at checkout. And with that, we welcome former Tennessee Titan, Cincinnati Bengal, New England Patriot, and Texas Longhorn, Bo Scaife, onto the show. Bo, it is a pleasure to have you on, my friend.
Fellas, what's going on?
Bo, you got to play with two of the dopest color schemes. The Tennessee color scheme, and then that burnt orange too. You were blessed by the uniform gods in your football career.
Yeah. These new kids, they got all the combinations though.
Yeah.
Kids got all the fresh combinations. We just started branching into that. We were pretty traditional down in Texas, but these new kids, they getting to play with all the different combinations. You got KD throwing money at the school, he's sending fresh gear. So yeah, I wish I would love to redo.
Like a burnt orange pant, like an all burnt orange?
I would love to put a black jersey on. You know, like I would love to change the helmet up a little bit. I would love some of that chrome action, you know, that like Oregon gets to do and that type of stuff. I mean, even Florida, I mean, y'all look sweet in them all whites, man. Them all whites with the white helmet.
Yeah, hey, that's my favorite one right there, bro.
You know, that stuff is nice right there, man.
Jordan had that. I think that was one of the first times they had the white helmet.
Yeah.
And they went white, blue, white.
Sir.
That was a good combo.
Bo, what'd you think of the Gators swamp green jerseys a few years ago?
We don't need to do that.
I'm okay with those. I'm not gonna lie. Like I like the little change up, you know. And the thing with us, you know, when coach put those kind of color schemes in front of us, if we didn't play good, then we had to throw it out. So I don't remember if you guys were in that game, but if you
never saw him again. Never seen him again.
Yeah.
Them shit's out. They gotta go, Bo.
So, Bo, we want to talk about obviously Texas. You walked so Cam Rising could run. You were 6 years at the University of Texas, obviously, then go and have a great NFL career with Tennessee Titans and Cincinnati Bengals. Talk to us a little bit about your story. How'd you end up in Texas, if I remember correctly, from the Colorado area? So how'd you end up at Texas? And talk to us a little bit about, you know, that experience for you.
Well, you know, I was definitely one of those kids that was highly recruited. So, you know, that was a blessing in itself, you know, being able to be one of the top ranked players in the country, you know, coming out of high school with, you know, pretty much any school I wanted to go to on the plate. You know, it was a cool experience just to be able to, you know, get a chance to go see some of those big schools. So my top five was Ohio State, Michigan, you know, UCLA, Washington, and then Georgia, Texas. So those are my top 6 schools. And I just fell in love with Texas. You know, like Georgia was a little too far. Florida was a little too far. I didn't really want to go play in the cold in Michigan and Ohio State. But all those places probably would have worked out great. You know, I could have stayed home. There was a lot of pressure to stay home. But, you know, they were going through some trouble with the players around that time, you know. So my dad was not trying to send me up to Boulder. And he wanted me to, you know, leave the nest so I can grow some hair on my chest and, you know, and become a man. I went on my recruiting trip actually with Eli. It was me, Eli Manning, and Archie and my dad. So, you know, that year I did get to Texas. We had the #1 recruiting class in the country. Chris Sims had just flipped from Tennessee to go to Texas. We had the defensive player of the year from Houston. His name was Corey Redding. So we just had a lot of great guys going there. So it made the decision pretty easy. You know, actually one of your old coaches, Tim Brewster, was the guy that recruited me. So, I mean, he did a great job, and he's done a great job everywhere he goes to, you know, bring great players to wherever he's at. So, I mean, that's the recruiting guru right there and the recruiting king. So, it was easy. It was an easy decision, you know, with guys like him. And, of course, you know, Matt Brown was the icing on the cake, you know, one of the greatest coaches ever in the history of college football. Even now, you know, he's almost 80 years old, and he's still dancing around with the team. You know, he's evolving with the new rules and the new landscape of college football. And, you know, it's obvious that his players love playing for him. So it's like all the cards and the pieces lined up for me. And, you know, ultimately looking back, it was, you know, probably the greatest decision I ever made in my life.
Only because you didn't visit Florida?
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is what you got to think about when, you know, you choose a college. You know, what is going to happen or what are you looking for after football when you graduate, you know? And so, you know, when you compare the two, and, you know, I'm not throwing shots, but I think I would want to live in Austin, you know. And from a alumni standpoint, and I've gotten experience this just in my travels, you know, internationally and across the world, like Longhorn country and Longhorn nation is really all over the world. I mean, I was on a safari in Africa, and I'm meeting like alumni and stuff like that. So it truly is a blessing. And, yeah, man, but you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with those big schools, man. And, you know, you guys definitely have a great program, and you guys have produced some amazing athletes. And so, you know, guys that are close friends of mine, the Freak, Andre Davis, you know, Moss, all those guys, you guys got a great roster of guys that, you know, I have a ton of respect for.
Javon Curse might be in better shape now than when he was in the NFL.
Man,
he's wild.
And I don't think I've
ever lived in the gym.
You know, a lot of guys transition you know, out of football, and they kind of, you know, they get a little chubby and pudgy and stuff like that. And like you said, the Freak's never been that.
Is it what's this like for you? You mentioned that you went on a visit with Eli. What's it like to see? I know it's not Eli's son, but C.A. Manning at Texas now. And I know he's not starting, but getting some reps when Quinn was hurt. I have a little more grade than you, but when he got to Texas, did you feel like, oh shoot, felt another grade pop in? Like this is I was here with his uncle.
Yeah. I mean, it was awesome, to land, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And this school wants to do that. So, he was a hot commodity. Everybody was pulling at that chain. And, we're fortunate to grab him and for him to be patient and, have the ability to sit on the bench and wait till his turn and really understand and enjoy the college experience. I got to respect that. Hard for a lot of kids that aren't, and that isn't Manning, like that. And, stature and everything that he has going on and that ability, he could easily been playing, last year's year before that somewhere else. So, props to him.
What's your overall feel for Sark and what he's got going on at Texas? You guys are playing overall good ball. You should make the playoff. Sark seems to have the ball rolling in every facet as far as recruiting, quarterback, offense. He's always had for offense in general. People want to see if he could put the whole thing together, and he seems to have it put together for a little bit. You got set as a football program, but what's your overall feel for Texas right now?
This is what we've been waiting on. You guys kind of experienced this a little bit. A lot of the big schools, we have that drought and that down period where like we can't get right for a while, and it's like we running through coaches. Charlie Strong, Tom Herman, we got all this stuff going on. And I'm one of the guys that's definitely hard on coaches. So, even knowing Stark's background with what he had to overcome and, him getting another opportunity to be a head coach, which, the players don't get those second chances like the coaches do. So that's probably my little beef with a lot of the coaches. They get in trouble or they do something that is bad for a program and, they get fired, but then, they get hired by their buddy or something like that. And like the players never get those opportunities. So I'm really hard on the coaches like that. But I love Stark's story. Obviously life is humbling. So he was able to, be humbled through a situation at SC in Washington and, get back on his feet. And obviously, you get with Nick Saban, you're guaranteed something after that. And so he was over there with Saban and he built an amazing program and he got a great feel of the SEC and how to win in that championship culture. And you see that's what he is implementing at Texas. So I'm excited for him. He's a great guy. I've met him a couple of times and, I know the players love him. And that's the greatest representation of the head coach is how do his players and staff feel about him. We're all judged by our peers and everything we do. So I know the team, the staff, Texas, country that they got a lot of respect for Stark and we're excited to see what he continues to do. He's brought a lot of excitement, that we were missing out for the last, 5-10 years. And, we're just excited to see where we can go this year.
Well, I'm not going to lie. When that Tom Herman text message leaked that, okay, cool, hook him, I was like, oh man, Texas got him one. Texas got him one. This guy doesn't care. All right, cool, hook him. I was like, ooh, they got it.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Tom Herman was the GA my freshman year at Texas. So even his story, to be able to, rise up the ladder for that and stuff like that was pretty awesome. So, he got into a little altercation the other day at the end of the game. So I love seeing
USL.
All that stuff with the coaches. I love seeing the rivalries and those things and, the coaches have the fire and stuff like that because that's what the game needs. It's an emotional game and there's a lot of money and stuff on the line. And even more so now than there's ever been. There's so much more at stake now than there's ever been with, especially with NIL and, they're trying to build up the programs and build up these rosters and build these rosters with, the star athletes, the star high school kids, with the portal. So the job description and the ask has definitely changed for head coaches, which is why, you see a Saban to step away and, get on TV, man. It's less stress.
Let's get into this tech up a little bit. No, go ahead.
Real quick, before we get into the match, I got a question real quick. It seems, and maybe it's overblown, but it seems like Texas fans get very mad when people do the horns down, and Oklahoma loves doing it. And I told Texas fans, I was like, listen, it's going to hurt really bad when Vandy does it, and they don't really know football. They'll do it when they're down 20 just to do it. Does it really bother everyone, or is it just some people that it bothers? Because Gator fans have been dealing with it forever, like, the opponents chomping, doing stuff like that.
Yeah, so you guys get it. To me, that's respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what our signal is, and you have to disrespect our signal to make yourself feel good. Like the other day, some old ass dude, he's walking by me, he just real quick, right? And I'm like, what school did you go to even be doing that to me?
UTSA, probably. UTSA.
No, he went to A&M, so like, listen, you already know he can get out there.
Weird. That's a weird place, man.
Yeah. Nobody puts the Colton agriculture like Texas A&M.
Yeah. Only 4 years, so you don't even count. Right?
You don't even get your ring.
Yeah, get the hell out of here, man. So you gotta have fun with it. If someone's gonna throw a jab at me, just be ready for me to shoot back. That's all. I'm not the guy. How am I laughing that shit off? No, I'm coming right back with
you. You throw a jab at me, you better expect a hook or an uppercut. We're not trading jabs.
Yeah, you have to be ready. Listen.
Give him the hook him after.
We're not turning them down here tonight, Bo.
I appreciate that, y'all, because I'm calm right now, man. Yeah. And I had the all pro, man. I'm calm right now, man. So yeah.
You got that all pro. Hey, shout out to before we get into the Texas game, man. Appreciate you, Bo. Went out to Colorado. We connected a few times, but I went out there to Colorado. Definitely going back this next year, 420. But just great hospitality. You're from Colorado. I went out there, me and my brother, a couple other friends, and it was all love, man. So shout out to you, and just I appreciate the love, man. It's a lot to me. Thanks for even showing up to the show today, man.
No, so.
But yeah, I think that changed Silk. He saw mountains. He got that fresh air. That trip he took a couple years back, he came back a changed man.
Listen, this is what Deion's secret sauce right here. This is Deion. This truly is Deion's secret sauce. Is getting kids out here to see the landscape and everything that Colorado has to offer. It's a beautiful place. It's sunny just as much as Florida. Obviously, we have winter, but even in the winter, it's still sunny, and the views are unbelievable. So as a kid,
beautiful, man.
You haven't left your neighborhood or something like that, and you go to a place like that is beautiful, and the town is beautiful, and you got a beloved college there. I mean, it's hard to turn down, man. So, that's really one of Deion's recruiting tools that he's definitely using is just how beautiful Boulder is.
Yeah, Boulder.
You get kids from South Florida. Hills are when you're on the highway and it's an overpass. That's a hill. Yeah. And you show up, you land in Dallas or you land in Denver, and you're like, oh, that's an actual mountain.
That's a mountain. Yeah.
Denver's incredible, man. It's one of my favorites. One of my best friends lives in Westminster out there. But we had the chance to go out to Boulder last year. That was my first time in Boulder, and that's just a cool town. And I mean, I see it. I see why somebody would be attracted to it. So, Bo, to get back into the game, I know Corey, you kind of preluded it here. Talk to us a little bit about Texas. Obviously, the rabid Gator fans and college football fans have watched some of Texas, and they know Arch Manning, they know Quinn Ewers, they know that you guys are still without your top 2 running backs entering this season too. But give a fan that's maybe a more casual fan just kind of the rundown on Texas, on offense, on defense.
We are a younger team that's benefited from the portal, and has benefited from a great transition and foundation set by Sark. We cannot overlook his time at Alabama and the impact that he had on the kids there, where they trusted him enough when he wanted to leave and go somewhere else that they wanted to go there with him. So, that's number one. Obviously, Texas is, it's an awesome place, and, we're going to attract recruits naturally, but really having that star coach and that 5-star coach that we brought in with Sark, and him being able to relate to the players, and then the support of the boosters and the fans, is second to none. So it's we don't have a problem really getting there. I mean, you see them they got Lambos in front of the stadium, man. I mean, they're definitely passing the eye test with the students, the players, and the parents. So those are some of the big keys that obviously allow us to bring in the top players. Obviously our team is led by yours. He's had a pretty good year so far. Obviously, he fell a little short in the Georgia game, but I think our success lies in him, and he has a great understanding of the offense and what Sark wants to accomplish. So I think he's grown a whole lot under Sark. I don't know if that would have been the case with just any coach. So I really think that's a credit to Sark. They have also done a great job, obviously, stacking our O-line. We haven't played as consistently as we wanted to, but everyone knows you got to protect your quarterback if you got a good quarterback. You guys have to deal with the same thing. So time you have a good quarterback, and then they've done a great job just filling in the skill players around, running back, receivers. We got a great tight end and Gunnar Helm, who's from Colorado. And then that scheme allows us to spread that ball around. So we're using all those guys. You don't want to bring a bunch of great players who are school and you can't find a way to get them the ball, which is why kids leave right now. That's why everyone jumps in the portal, because they're not getting the reps or the touches or the things that they feel like they deserve. So I think Sark does a great job spreading the ball around and getting Quinn to understand that. On the defense, I mean, we fly around. We fly around. We got a great linebacking core. Our D-line is pretty relentless. And those are things that we've struggled with the last couple of years, is like stopping the run. Our secondary has been getting torched. So, the back end is probably our biggest improvement on defense. We got some young guys that just fly around. We're hitting, we're physical. So this is probably the most physical team that I've seen Texas put on the field in literally the last 10 years. And they're a well-composed and disciplined team too. Obviously, we saw the letdown in, at Georgia, which, no offense, guys, that probably is the thing that's going to hurt you guys the most this week, is the letdown after the big game. It's so hard to get these kids fired up again, and they're going to be fired up, but sometimes it just doesn't translate, like you wanted to. And that was the thing that happened to us in Georgia. These are mistakes that we normally don't make, like things that you aren't accustomed to doing. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that, from your guys, just, from such an emotional and big game this past week with Georgia. You guys, that's a huge rivalry game for you guys. So, this is our first time playing you guys. We're going to be pumped up. We're fresh off a bye. So, that can either work in our favor or, we might.
Y'all got a bye too? Oh, we about to get down.
We got some bad bye luck this year. Before the other guys ask questions, I know they have a bunch. What's the weakness of the team? I know you guys are.
Can you tell us how Florida will beat Texas? If you could just give that blueprint,
especially
with
a walk-on quarterback that just transferred from Yale. Go ahead.
It's going to be, similar game plan to what Georgia did. You got to get after the passer. Like he was flustered that game, and he wasn't able to get the ball and get his feet set and just get calm and get in the rhythm. And that's how you disrupt good offenses is, you knock them off their cadence. You don't let them get the ball off their star players, and you're physical up front. Those games are won in the trenches. And, that's exactly what Georgia's did. They punched us in the mouth and we just never recovered. So, any game where you want to slow down the game in a situation like this for you guys, that's what you guys got to do. You got to come out and punch us in the mouth, cause some turnovers, get some mayhem going and stir up stuff. And, then your offense has to come in and score some points. Obviously, that's the most important thing at the end of the day is, more points. So if you guys struggle with that, then it might be a long day, man. Even if you do.
That's where it gets tricky.
I mean, you guys are 20.
And make sure that the direct deposit hits the referees on Friday night so they can have a nice dinner.
Yeah.
It's an early morning game. Don't drink too much, but do enjoy the payment to the referees. See if the check doesn't bounce.
Yeah.
I got a
I think
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I know you obviously watched the Georgia versus Texas game. I was gonna say, how do you feel if and when y'all do run into them again in the playoffs? How do you feel about that next game playing against Georgia? You feel confident? You feel iffy? How's it feeling?
It's hard to beat somebody twice, especially
100%.
So I think obviously the leg goes up to us, but if you don't come out and play and you don't establish the line, you can't lose the same way that you lost the first time. So the challenge is going to be on the trenches, for us. And don't think those guys don't have it in their mind. You know, these are young kids still, so it's hard to get over. They don't have that maturity to just kind of leave that stuff behind, especially if you played a bad game and into errors and you're getting beat and stuff like that. Which, you know, online, like I said, this is the worst game they played since they've been a unit. So obviously the camaraderie has been built, you know, since that game. You know, the more games you play together, the stronger the unit gets.
Right.
Coaching will be better second time around. You know, you got a taste of, you know, what that game was like. So obviously you got to learn from that experience. And then, I think they'll be ready. You know, I think I wasn't super impressed with, you know, Georgia's offense or the quarterback. And I'm sure you guys aren't either. I mean,
same.
They're good.
Yeah.
Guys had a chance right there to beat them if you guys can score some points and, you know, make a big play towards the end of the game. And so, you know, no team is what they used to be in the SEC. It's just not the case anymore. You know, everyone can be beaten on any given day. And, you know, they say that, and that's cliche in football, but like that is truly the case now. Like, you know,
for sure,
Vanderbilt is never supposed to beat or nothing like that. They're not.
They're really not.
That's where we're at now, where, you know, you don't show up and, you know, you leave somebody a little bit of room to breathe and you don't put them to sleep. You know, every team has a few guys that can make a few plays, you know, on anybody. So, you know, everyone's a threat.
Yeah. What's Texas fans overall feel in the SEC? Like, I know y'all, like, after the Georgia game, we've seen a lot of, like, you know, disarray with, you know, the vibes. But what's your overall feel of being in the SEC now? And just, like, what's the feel of Texas fan base in this league now?
I think they've been excited for it. You know, everyone wants to come in and be the big dog. So, you know, we heard a lot. We heard all the chirps. We heard, you know, all the hate from, you know, the SEC fans and, you know, everybody, y'all not going to be ready to do this, you know, whoop-de-whoop. You know, this is all fan talk. And, you know, you guys have earned the right to talk that in that conference. But I think everybody was surprised with, you know, how we came out. You know, as far as the fan base, I mean, we traveled everywhere. You know, this is one of the, you know, richest, you know, football programs in the country. So you're gonna see everything big when Texas is around and stuff like that. So, you know, next year I think we play you guys there next year. So I mean, you'll see for yourself, you know, how Texas fans show up and stuff like that. They're not worried about money. We ain't worried about what shit costs. We gonna pull.
Well, we all see the price of gas. We know you're not worried about money over in the great state of Texas.
Big bank take little bank over there, man.
we see oil prices. Nobody's worried. They're building new buildings in Texas.
They really are. It's unbelievable, like the stuff that they've added, man, and just it's like they don't have a budget. They don't have a budget.
They're like Richie Rich in blank check.
They're fun coupons, you know what I mean?
Fun coupons.
The entire state of Texas very well and doing very well in this NIL era because, like, Texas got money in football, not just college, like high school, anything to do with football. Texas dropping that.
Bro,
bag,
Texas has
man.
money in baseball. That's if the Bo will tell you, Texas alumni base, their fan base,
like, all of it,
love baseball.
Yeah.
Well, how did it feel good?
I think this game.
Real quick, so before we get into the game more, when Texas A&M left. You know, they've got that kind of like little brother syndrome with y'all. When they left and got to the SEC, I know they were chirping. Is it a little gratifying to like show up and be like, hey, man, good to see you again?
It is. And it's like we're the guy that walked in the party like, damn, they here. We was hoping you to see, you know, him at that party.
What?
We gonna come. We coming and we taking all your girls. That's exactly how they feel. You know, the little they're gonna be nerded out, and then as soon as Texans walk in the party, we clean. We got the fresh gear on. We got the nice. You know, and they're like, oh, cool. I've been waiting for y'all to get here. Where y'all been at? That's how it is with A&M in Texas.
Are you looking forward to that game again?
Yeah. I mean, listen. What's exciting about it is, you know, it's always, you know, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So, you know, it has such a family setting because obviously you're spending the Thanksgiving with your teammates and stuff like that. You know, Kyle Field is an awesome place to play at. You know, they be doing the little swing and all that type of, you know, the little bromances they got over there. They be doing all that stuff. know, you love going to all the places that are loud and shutting people up. I mean, I think that's the most gratifying thing as a player is to walk into somebody's house, whoop their ass, you tell everyone to shut the hell up, and then you get to go about your business, you know, with their girls. Like I said, girls is coming too.
Boy, you taking everything.
But Bo's not leaving a single napkin on the floor when he leaves the party. No, I'm taking that too.
No, yeah.
Man. I like it.
Yeah, we got a Texas boy at our quarterback, man. I think this game is a different game if we got DJ Lagway playing. Unfortunately, I think we're doing a little gamesmanship. I know there's Billy saying that we play, but I think Texas just, 20-point favorites, and rightfully so. But I do think he plays. I do think we win last game, Georgia, and then this matchup is totally different. And he just brings a different threat to any defense, that deep ball. But with a walk-on quarterback going out to Texas, big letdown out the rivalry, like you said, it just doesn't, bode well for us, man. I'm just hoping we get out of there in one piece.
Here's what I'll say, Silk. And these coaches get paid a lot of money. Coach. You're not supposed to be favored every game. You're not going to be favored every game. So just like they demand more out of the players, we got to demand more out of them. Dial up some shit.
You're right.
Facts.
And so if your team is bad and consistently bad and you have a bad product on the field, I'm never going to blame the players. I am not, especially in college.
Preach.
Because they have full control and they build the culture in college. So, one thing that really frustrates me about, college sports and professional sports, and you see it a lot in football, is these guys are getting fired because they weren't producing in their role. So OC, DC, whatever the position is. Then he's going to get hired for the same shit he just got fired for. So tell me why in the hell it's going to work this time, and what are you doing different for it to work this time that you weren't doing? So, the coaches got to step up on this side, and you got to take chances. If you're not the more talented team, then you got to take some risk. You got to have fun with the game plan. You got to let it loose, man. Walk on quarterback, whatever you got to go let it loose. And I think the players rally around that more than anything. Don't come in there with that conservative stuff and stuff like that.
Come on,
and
bro.
We're going to be conservative and we're going to try to do this and we got to be patient. No, that's what we want you to do. We want you to do that. So the coaches got to come out there with that attack mindset and let your nuts hang. That's what they got to do, and let the players see that, and they're gonna rally around that more than anything, in my opinion.
No, that's real.
To your point, Cliff Kingsbury got fired at Texas Tech and hired as the Arizona Cardinals head coach. They also get paid a lot of money to stop showing up to work when they get fired once they get one of these jobs too. So I'm with you. I'm not putting it on a 19-year-old kid.
Look at Jimbo Fisher right now. Jimbo Fisher right now he chilling. He watching every game on a damn yacht right now.
Bo, you'd never see me again.
Right.
They gave him King Tut's actual gold from the tomb to stop showing up to work.
King Tut. Huh?
Oh yeah.
I'd be gone.
It's the greatest job.
Almost try to get fired. Like everybody keep making these threats at Norvell out in Florida State. His buyout is $65 million. Like I'd be trying. Like please fire me, bro.
You'd be doing everything he's doing right now.
You can't get fired. Yes. You can't get fired for a cause. You got to show up to work on time. But then just kick your feet up.
Mad we beat Cal. Like, dang, we won a game. Come on, man. I want to take a vacation. Stop doing this, guys.
My Outlook calendar is just full of private meetings all day, in and out. Oh man.
Well, what can Gator fans expect? DKR, it looks like a great atmosphere. I've never been. What can Gator fans expect just from a game day experience in Austin?
Man, tailgating life. I mean, you guys are used to it down there, but I mean, tailgate life is amazing. And there's so much things that have been created in Austin, restaurants, food, liquor, whatever. And everything's on display around the stadium. So I mean, you get to literally walk, and it's like a farmer's market almost, like where you just get to try so much bomb ass stuff, So, the best thing I would advise Gator fans is just enjoy the atmosphere, have as much fun, don't worry too much about the game, and just enjoy that shit. It's going to be a great experience regardless. Like I said, it's going to be a fun day. In the morning, you get to go home after and chill and hang out and watch the rest of the game. So it's going to be loud for sure. Hopefully it's a little cooled off, but you guys ain't, you guys aren't worried about heat like a lot of teams are. So, that's obviously to your advantage. We love for teams who aren't used to heat to come to Texas and stuff like that because they can't deal with it. So
the tone you said that in, don't worry about the game, sounded like a father whose son fumbled the ball and they lost the game, and you're just like patting Florida fans on the back, being like, listen, man, there's next year, there's next week maybe.
Let's go have a good time, guys.
We're just out here we just hope both teams have fun, right? You know what I mean? Did you try your
have orange slices for you after the game? They said they were going to give you orange slices.
Listen, and we are
my son's team.
Like we are true. We're not the rabid fans that are talking stuff, and we ain't gonna party with y'all or let y'all in. Like we bring people into our family, and we are a great host when it comes to these kind of games and stuff like that. So. I've never really heard a bunch of fans just talking about they had the worst experience ever when they went to DKR because everyone truly is really hospitable.
You probably get what you put out. And if you're putting out something, you're going to get that back.
Yeah, you're going to get a horn down. You might get.
Yeah. Texas brisket is undefeated. So if you are a Gator fan listening to this and you are going to the game, find you some brisket. I don't care if it comes from a gas station. I think a gas station can make.
I was just gonna ask you, Bo. That was my question. Sorry to interrupt, Corey. For those that have maybe never been to Austin, or it's been a long time, right? I mean, even in the time that I've been going to Austin, every time I go, there's like 15 new high rises in the air. Obviously, everybody knows like Terry Black's and Franklin's Barbecue, Salt Lick, a little bit outside of town. Everybody knows the Dirty Sixth Street. Everybody knows. Well, maybe some people know about Rainy Street now. Where are some places that Gator fans that are coming into town should go and should know about Austin?
That domain area is really up and coming. They've kind of duplicated everything that they built downtown. But I mean, you want to be downtown. I mean, that's where everything's at. You want to go get the tacos in the morning. You want to go get the breakfast tacos. Get you some Bloody Marys. Start off right, and then just. It's like you got to start early and then get in your groove and pace your stuff throughout the day, because everything is so good. Like the experience is so good. It's like you don't want it to end, So even if you are a little disappointed, you're still going to go have fun after the game.
Celebrating a win, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. The game.
Of course.
Shout out my boy Vince Young. He has an amazing restaurant down there, Vince Young Steakhouse. So, I mean, if you're looking for some upscale stuff, like that's the place to go right there. I mean, amazing everything. They got the Invincible Margarita. That's my favorite. I drink about 5 to 10 of those every time I go.
I like that range.
What do you mean by
range, 5 to 10.
Invincible, like you drink it fast? Like why is it invisible?
Oh, invincible.
Invincible. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Oh, I missed it. Pun on. Yeah, okay. Very well played.
Yeah.
I missed it. One time I went to Texas, to Austin. We went to Franklin's and we got tipped off. Like we had to have somebody go there and basically camp out to get in line.
Yeah.
But it was a bachelor party and we got pounds of brisket, ribs, beef ribs. It looks like a dinosaur bone. That beef rib.
Yeah, vegan options
unreal. Yeah. No, you need to find Christ again. Find Christ and start eating some meat.
Yeah.
Vegan
options at Franklin's Bar. Yeah, they have some collards that have bacon.
Yeah.
Colorado's big on steak as well. You like there's just everywhere like steak. You in the steak vicinity, either Colorado or Texas, man. Big time. I know you got a hard out in a little minute, so I don't want to hold you too long, man. Our fans should be coming to Texas in peace. We shouldn't go out there making a whole lot of noise. We're gonna be very polite in your establishment,
Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am.
Put the toilet down.
Yeah.
See a good game. We want to see big plays. We want to see big hits. So, I don't want to see no blowout. No one wants to see a blowout. I want to see a good, hard-fought, close game. So,
we're gonna celebrate. If it's not a blowout, our fan base is gonna celebrate. We more victory you right now. So Like we might pop champagne.
I don't believe in no 20 point spread at all.
I think Texas will cover.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think it's going to be a close game.
Okay. More victory to you.
I appreciate that enthusiasm and that support.
Thank you for your kind words.
Yeah,
Thank you for your kindness at the end.
That means a lot to us, means a lot to our fan base, because I don't think any of us right now are expecting a close one. I think our defense will play well, but I think our offense is going to struggle moving the ball through the air a little bit. But
you got to run. We have one last question for you.
Oh, yeah.
It became a meme. Is Texas back?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we definitely back. There ain't no question about it, and we just keep loading up too. We're reloading right now. So I'm excited about it. I know the fans are excited about it. And, like I said, you got to think about who we got, coming off the bench next year. He going to be ready, and he got some chest hair now, and he got the facial hair coming in.
All that.
It's gonna be a whole different dude now. When it's just him, oh yeah, he gonna go ham.
I love it, man. Well, Bo, we appreciate your time today. It was a pleasure chatting with you. Congrats on all your successes. Do you want to plug what you're doing now? I know that you've got some entrepreneurial stuff that you're doing over there in Colorado. I want to make sure we plug that, but certainly appreciate you coming on the show.
Yeah, man. I know cannabis is on the ballot for Florida, so I hope you guys get here this year, man. But if you don't, and you come out to Colorado, make sure you stop and get you some All Pro. It's on a lot of the dispensaries, local dispensaries. We actually just got a flagship store that we're opening here in the spring, so the official All Pro store is coming through. So yeah, it's going down, man. AllProFarms.com, and listen, light one for your boy.
Already, man.
We appreciate it, Bo. Thanks so much for your time, brother. Best of luck with everything.
All right, fellas. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
I think we're not a political pod, but I think we're all behind yes on 3 tomorrow.
It's gas, man. If you definitely go out there, check out All Pro, man. Oh, man.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, it's not legal in Florida, but if you wanted to get your medical card, I think it takes about 36 seconds over a telehealth appointment. So
yeah, they actually like 1.5 questions.
It's on the ballot.
What's your name?
On the ballot tomorrow.
It is on the ballot tomorrow. Already voted.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get to the segment of the week everybody wanted. We are going to talk about who you guys voted for president. Let's go. Start with you, Jordan.
No, we're not doing that.
Hey.
Yo, he got a banner ready. That's hilarious. He try to get us out of here, man.
All right, so one final segment here. I want to talk about. It's the want to poach your coach segment here.
Yeah, I'll take anybody.
Do you think
your son's Pop Warner coach? Would you take him?
I'll take him. He's a Florida State fan right now. I don't like his offense, but
take anybody.
Do you think that DJ Lagway being out, and if the Gators can muster a win, maybe 2 over the next 4, that's enough for Scott Strickland to say, you know what, Bill, let's run it back?
I think you just got to consider the entire program as a whole, like recruiting, where everything's at. You can't forget how we started the season, because that matters. Like starting getting blowed out at home, in front of recruits, that whole thing. Kids are impressionable, and you can see it on the recruiting trail, which is not clicking right now. We're in the 50s. I do think we're about to lose 2 or 3 kids. We're going to drop even lower. Quarterback room, where we at. Just think it's not just the games we're seeing play. You got to look at the program in its totality and the future. This league is moving fast. NIL is moving fast. Teams are growing. The footprint, you gotta sink your foot in and make some traction here. And I don't think we in the place to do that. So in its totality, if Lagway's playing, I think he don't go down. I think, and we spoke about this earlier in the season. I said that Lagway's the type of talent that could just carry a coach. He could play well enough to extend Billy. That's what I was afraid of. And it's kind of happening. I think if he stays in that Georgia game, I think we win. I think we go in. I like us to win everything going forward if Lagway's healthy. And I'm not giving any flowers to Billy's coaching and play calling. This is just how good this kid is. And, I think players want form. The offense is explosive. The defense is playing better. If Lagway's around, it's a different story. But considering what we're facing, I don't think Lagway's promising and what he brings to the table enough to keep him in totality with where the program's at. We've watched Gene Chezik win a national championship with Newton and what happened. But Gene Chezik was at least a defensive coordinator and defensive mind. You got, Cam Newton, and he gets Gene Chezik in the championship. We've seen Norvell with Jordan Travis, and they fall off a cliff. So quarterbacks can carry a coach, but in the totality of the program, I don't know, man. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense to keep,
It's even more magnified in the NFL, but like they've literally changed the game of football to benefit the quarterback and the passing game into more points, because people tune in for more points. And if you have more eyeballs on the games, then the advertisers pay more. And if the advertisers are paying more, than ESPN gives you $3 billion to show a game at 3:30 12 times a year. It's more magnified in the NFL because, I don't think J.J. McCarthy was an elite quarterback, but Michigan was able to win a national championship last year. But you look at Jimbo, what is Jimbo without Jameis? To an extent, you could say, what was Dan Mullen without Tim Tebow and Dak Prescott? What was Urban without the guys he had at Ohio State and without Tebow? So it's the most important position, and they've changed the rules to make it even more important. That's just to your point of DJ is going to save somebody's job and make some coach a lot of money, whether it's Billy or the next one.
Right. My thing is if that this kid goes down, we see what the offense was like. I think the decision making is so slow. Somebody said, Brent, these are just facts of what's going on. Hating is one thing. If we just came out, F Billy. But we're articulating our thoughts and our opinions on the entire program. So that's just not hate. It's just articulate thoughts. I just think overall QB evals on where we're at, I just don't see it, man. Quarterback room is one guy or bust, and decisions are slow. I thought Lagway started, you got to make the tough decisions. Coaches, Nick Saban benched a Heisman winner for a freshman. That's a tough decision. You're not benching a Heisman winner. I think good coaches make those decisions, especially with your job on the line. His job was on the line, and he played it very safe with keeping Murray. And the way they were rotating the quarterbacks. I thought Lagway, we said it all summer that Lagway would have a patch in the Miami game. He had no passes in the Miami game. It was no preparation. We went into the game flat-footed. We got smoked in front of girls. In front of all the women, we got smoked. So I just don't see, bro. I don't understand how we can at a 50th ranked class, because every recruiting class matters. So at this point, we got a transition style class with no quarterback in it. We're going to lose a couple more kids at the top of this thing to rivals on the trail. I don't think one player in DJ Lagway is to keep this guy, because the recruiting is going to start again next year because he's not extended. You got to extend him for it to make sense to the recruits. They want to know if that coach is going to be there for the 3 to 4 years, and the years ain't adding up. So you just put into a spot where you get 2 years of back-to-back mid-recruiting. You can't sell hope anymore. So, this year was just a make-or-break year. I supported Billy. I touched grass for 2 years, gave him space, no criticism really, just vibed out. Said what I didn't like, but wasn't super hard on staff with, fire him. That's just not realistic. I touched grass for 2 years. At University of Florida was not going to fire a coach in 2 years. 2 years is up. The Miami game was a big flag for me, and I said this in the offseason. How they play that Miami game is going to determine how I feel about this staff. They came out flat. They came out again, Texas A&M. Now we're all the way through the season. It took you way too long to figure out DJ Lagway should be starting. You never figured it out. It just happened for you with an injury. Same thing with the running back room. I thought Ball should play more game one. He's a game breaker. He should have been getting more carries. The decisions is just too slow, And I think where we at in the totality of the program, Billy, I think he's a great guy. He should be in charge of a men's church flag football league where just playing close matters. The fan base got to grow some balls and soft. I'm just gonna say the fan base is getting soft.
No, sir. Check my mentions.
They think you're just like Billy's water carrier, and You're sucking up the Billy because he gets shout outs to your kid.
Silk went through
the fan
so
base
many
think,
farmers
but
market punch cards those last 2 years.
Yes, bro. I was touching grass. I was being a wholesome man, not like cursing out the coaches or anything like that. This wasn't like me, but I was vibing out, just giving people time to win. Bro, we're not a program. We're winning like 10 in rivalry games. I'm not driving 5 hours to lose. Like, to be a fan of a product like this. I'm not driving 5 hours to a game where we get smoked in front of a rivalry fans that all of our statues, and then what are we playing the games for? Being close to Georgia don't do nothing for me. Like, it just doesn't. Like, he's had 3 years to beat a significant team. This year we haven't beat a winning team. UC didn't feel great for me. It felt like we were supposed to beat this team. Losing the touch as fans. Like, y'all letting these years of losing taint what this really is. No, this is one of the greatest football programs in America. In America. Steve Spurrier built this house, bro. Are we kidding? Are you kidding me, bro? Like, we used to run down on and I'm not used to this, And Vanderbilt is bowl eligible. They beat Alabama.
Anchor down, baby. Anchor down.
Right.
Put some respect on my guy Diego.
Almost beating Georgia don't do nothing for me. If it does for you, you just need to check yourself, man. Y'all getting participation trophy era. Getting caught up in that. But where I'm from, winning matters. And right now, we ain't winning. And it ain't fun. I don't want to drive 5 hours. My son don't know what it's like to win as a Gator, bro. He just started watching football. He just started watching it. And the kids, I'm going to Pop Warner football. You bring a University of Florida around Pop Warner kids, they laugh at you.
Oh, no. You're getting your ego hurt.
Yeah, bro. Straight up. They laughing at you.
Feelings hurt at Pop Warner field.
They laughing at you. Like, what do they know about Florida, bro? Like, getting smoked. They ain't even watching that. I make my son watch it, man. just
Oh man,
up. It's getting too soft, bro. We gotta win football, and I don't think Miami's back, but they got one of their own, and they're passionate. Like, only funky as your last cut, and our last cut has been a while ago, bro. And 4 losing seasons in a row hurts. I don't want to watch this no more.
No, facts. To kind of go off what Dan's question was, I do feel as if he was to win a game on his next 4-game stretch or whatever the case may be, I think he has a chance of keeping his job, depending on what recruits he has on board. I feel like that's going to play a huge factor in him leaving or staying based upon if he won or not. But I also think if he goes out and just loses it all, it's going to be the perfect excuse for them just to move on. Like, it's just the easy decision just to let him go. So.
Yeah, man, it's an interesting conundrum, right? We've talked about, Jordan, kind of before you got on the show a couple of weeks ago. We talked about Florida's conundrum where they have an interim president. They just announced a search committee, so don't expect anyone to get hired before the end of that academic year. The interim, that was the former president, hired Scott Strickland. Scott Strickland knows that most athletic directors don't get the chance to hire 3 football coaches. Florida has any sort of luster, they're going to try to polish whatever turd they have to try to make it as shiny as possible to the fan base. And I'm seeing a change in some of the fan base, and it's concerning a little bit. I know the guys are playing hard and everything else, but I think when you extrapolate everything else, there's more than just one thing. It's more than just this season. I think that's been our point for a while on this show. And we're not going to belabor the point because I think we've done that a lot. So go back and listen to our other episodes. Go to the hot board segments or the new We Want to Poach Your Coach segment. So, I think that'll probably start up again next week. And, Florida fans will be scouring the ESPN and ABC and Fox to see who their next coach is. And I think we can save that hot board for next week.
He's done enough to keep his job. I've seen so many of these writers out here, like, insinuating he's done
Moxie.
enough for one first half of a bit close with Georgia. He's bring it back one more year. Like me, you got to show me more than what I saw versus Georgia, bro. I got smoked versus Miami. I got smoked versus him. one good half versus Georgia don't fix what I've seen this season. I watched 2 games we to win, and we just pissed there. So no, it's a lot more. And I don't like what you gotta look at the entire thing, man, and just not adding up for me. And we'll let it all play out.
Absolutely. Well, boys, we're running up on 2 hours here, so we're gonna let everybody run.
That's right.
If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Song of the week, I think, is me going to see him in concert on Saturday night. So excited for that. Kip Moore has a new song, Learning As I Go. It's a good song. So we'll let you guys go with that. We'll see you guys same corner, same time next week. And we will see you guys then. Go Gators.